Hey my friends, it's time for another recipe on Real Nice Guyana here. Another traditional Guyanese recipe, and this one is as traditional as the guest as well. Today we're going to be doing a recipe for halwa, which was requested a few times. And halwa is usually made on 9-day, and 9-day is in Guyana is celebrating a baby's birth on the 9th day. When the baby is 9 days old, there's usually a celebration, and this is made on that occasion. Okay, and it's usually served with a roti called dosti roti, and dosti roti is made in a way that when it's finished cooking, it separates into two roti. Hence the name dosti roti, because dosti in Hindi means friends, so it's two rotis in one. So this goes with that, and the only time this is usually made is for the baby's 9-day celebration function. Okay, so today we're going to be doing this recipe for you guys, and for this recipe we're going to be using here 4 cups of water, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cans of evaporated milk, 1 cup of 2% milk, a piece of ginger there, about that size. You're going to be using 1 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of margarine, and this here is the masala that is used for the halwa. It's a halwa masala, as you can see here, and this is a 6-ounce packet, and we'll be using half of this. So we'll be using 3 ounces of the halwa masala. Okay, we are also going to be using a bit of black pepper in this recipe. Okay, and this is all we need for this recipe, so let's get cracking, guys. So our karahi is hot here now, guys, and we're going to begin. First of all, we're going to parch the flour. So we're going to add our flour there. So this is about 5 minutes into parching the flour here. Still have a little bit to go. Alright my friends, so this has parched here now, and it took about 10 minutes actually on this stove here. Half of the time we had the stove on medium, and then we raised it to high. So it takes a bit of time. So if you're gonna have your stove on high all the time, it's probably gonna take you a bit less time, but this is the color you're looking for it to be parched. And this is done now. So this has to cool before we can work further with it. So we're gonna let it sit there for a bit. So while our parched flour is cooling off there, Molly's mom is grating the ginger here. Okay guys, so our ginger is grated there. So now this parched flour has cooled, and we are ready to mix. So here goes. We've added sugar there. So now we're going to add the water a bit at a time. So that was 4 cups of water we started with there. So now we're going to add the 1 cup of 2% milk. So now we're going to add the we're just going to add 1 tin of the carnation milk here, 1 can of the carnation milk. The other can is going to be used a little later in the recipe. Okay, so this mixture here, you want the flour to be completely dissolved, or else your halwa will have lumps in it. So now after mixing this with a spoon, stirring this with a spoon and dissolving it as much as possible, Molly's mom is now going to strain this. Still some stuff there. So it's a good thing to strain it. Make sure you have no lumps in there. Alright. So that's half of the packet of halwa masala there. And now the ginger has been added to the halwa masala and it's going to be mixed together. So we added some water to that mixture of the ginger and the halwa masala. And you're going to make something like a paste there. About that consistency there. Alright, not too watery. So the next step here, guys, is that we're going to chunky this halwa masala here that we've made into the paste. Now we're going to chunky it in this melted margarine. So we're just going to wait for this to melt and speed up the process of it here. So now our margarine is hot there and melted. So we've added the halwa masala there. So this halwa masala here has to be cooked for about 2 minutes. And this halwa masala here was done very dark. Some are not usually this dark. So now we're gonna add the we've added the mixture there of the parched flour and the milk. So now you want to try to break up as much lumps as possible in there. So now we're gonna add our bit of black pepper there, my friends, about that much. So we have our stove on medium now. And you have to keep stirring this. Not fast, just keep stirring it. So now it's thickened there a bit now, so we're gonna add the other kind of evaporated milk here. So sometimes a little bit of dye is added to this halwa here, just for color. And in this case, this halwa masala being so dark, we're gonna add a bit of dye here to give it a little bit brighter color. So she's diluted the dye in some water there. So that's it. It doesn't take a lot longer. This will soon be done. Okay guys, so that's it there. Our halwa is done. That's it there, and this is a lot of halwa. Alright, so if you want to make less than this, Just use half of the ingredients that we used. You're gonna have half this amount. Alright?
Yes.
So guys, you can taste this. And if it needs more sugar, you can add a bit more sugar. Alright? This is not supposed to be overly sweet, but a hint of sweetness to it. But if the sugar is not, you're not tasting the sugar in there, the sweetness in there, you can certainly add a bit more sugar to this, alright? And as you know, once this cools, it's gonna get a bit thicker, and that'll be perfect. Alright? Okay guys, so this is the lapsi here, and I waited for this to completely cool so I can show you what the consistency is. And this is what it is. Okay. And this is what it should be like. Alright? Thick. Because I know some people judge as to when it's 400 degrees hot on the stove and say, well, okay, it's not supposed to be like that. But I understand because they don't see it at this state here. But this is it here, guys, and this is the consistency you're supposed to have at the end. So this is a perfect lapsi here. Alright? As I said, lapsi is made at 9-day celebrations. So there you have it, guys. Guyanese lapsi. Came out very nice. So if you like this video, my friends, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. When you subscribe, you get notified by email of every video that we post to YouTube. You'll be the first person to see that video. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.